What is going on, everybody, and welcome on into episode 280 of the Garage Beers podcast, brought to you proudly here on Cleveland's oldest and largest independent Cleveland Browns coverage site, the OBR. Get over to the OBR.com, hit subscribe, as we are officially in the season, and it wouldn't feel like it if we weren't 0-1 with the Cleveland Browns, wouldn't it? So there we are. We're in our comfort zone here, baby.
Business as usual. Business as usual.
Consistency.
Oh yeah,
all the way the way. Now we are in our heyday at the OBR. The OBR.com has got all the best written coverage, plus just a great community over there. So make sure you get over to the OBR.com and hit subscribe. If you're watching us on the YouTube or the Twitch channel, hit subscribe there as well, and like and follow and all that stuff for, again, all the best Browns coverage. Plus on Wednesday nights, you get to come hang out with us, and you get to have a beer, and you get to hang out with special guests, and we get to talk football and Browns. And tonight it's going to be a little high school football we're going to talk about too.
Let's go.
We're going to talk about little guards ball. We haven't really spent any time on the Guardians because, but
they're hanging around.
All of a sudden, we got to talk about them.
They're hanging around.
We're 2 weeks into the college football. So there's just a lot to get to. So episode 280, jam-packed. With you as always, I'm Mike. He is Chad. Go follow the show at The Garage Beers on the socials. But Chad, what's up, dude? What's going on with you?
I just found out. I don't know if you noticed my little blurb under my name today, Mike. I just found out I have a medical condition. It's macrocephaly. It's been affecting me since childbirth. I didn't know it until today. But for those of you who don't know, it means I have an abnormally large head, and it's been something I've been dealing with my whole life. I just come to grips with it now. And I've just been wondering why I can't wear hats. I haven't been able to wear hats my entire life, and now I know. So you'll have to bear with me if I'm a little emotional.
Maybe there's an idea here. Maybe there's a business idea here, Chad. A macrocephaly hat shop.
Oh, okay.
You could open it.
There's probably ones called like big hats now. That's probably better. But macrocephaly, it rolls off the tongue.
Fitted hats at size 9 or above.
That's it. One size fits all. This is for the other. This shop's for the other.
If you are not part of the all, you come to Chad's hat shop and boom, you get it. Yeah, you put that up, and I didn't know what macrocephaly was, but yeah, that's a big dome over there on that fella. That's
yeah, sure is. Sure is.
And it's a shame it's so empty in there. But
hey, that means I have a large brain. If you read up on it, Mike, read a book.
I read about it in a book. Listen. Good to have you, Joey. Normally here with us. They're all on vacation. They're all in South Carolina, including, if you don't know this about us, Joey is my brother-in-law. So my wife, my daughter, they're in South Carolina. I got my son here, but Joey's not going to be with us tonight because they're probably out on like a porch drinking somewhere. It's probably just better. It's probably for the best.
Pure
probably
laziness.
For the best.
Pure laziness.
Yeah, well, laziness. That's fine. But we've got great stuff. Again, a little bit later in the show, we're going to get to guards ball. We're going to get to college football. Big game coming up in college football that I'm going to this weekend. Texas A&M at Notre Dame. Cannot wait for that. We'll talk a little bit more about Ohio State, all that stuff, and it's all coming up a little bit later. But we're going to kick things off with a bang because we've got a great special guest. And this one I'm very excited for, not just because this is a kind of Northern Ohio football legend type player, not just because this is a guy that made his way from being born here in Northern Ohio to spend a little time with the Cleveland Browns in his playing days, but also, Chad and I every Friday night are out calling football games for WEOL, and I don't think we've caught a Strongsville game yet. Chad
but
and
maybe,
I haven't.
Maybe
but we're gonna get there. He's now currently the head coach of the Strongsville Mustangs, and I see him in the background, and we're gonna bring him in to talk about all of it. So we want to welcome in right now to the Garage Beers podcast, Jason Trusnik. Jason, welcome into the garage.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm excited to be here.
Let's go,
we're
man.
Excited to have you, man. We're so excited to have you. How's life? How's head coaching life? Wednesday night. Shouldn't you be like watching film or something?
Yeah, I should be, but now that you got me on here I am. Here we go. Here's my film work tonight.
Let's go.
It's great, man. I love it. More than anything, just giving back to what the game gave me. That's what I love about what I'm doing right now.
Well, Coach, yeah, listen, Also love what you're doing at Strongsville because you guys are off to a heck of a start. I know it was a little bit of a tough week last week, but that's a heck of a game you played against a heck of a football team in Olmsted Falls. But we'll get to high school football in a little bit. We'll get to your history in a little bit. We do want to talk a little Browns with you, so we'll get to that in a little bit. But we invited you. You accepted our invitation. We always kick things off with our favorite segment we do every week. It's Garage Beers. It's called Garage Beers for a reason. It's time for our Garage Beers of the week. And so, Jason Trusnik, we always let our guests go first. Did you crack open a beer to have with us here on Garage Beers tonight?
I did, sir. I cracked open one of my favorites. It's me and my brother. I have two brothers, and I'm the oldest of three. And there's a rule that we have that you get one, you grab three, and that's and that's 3 Coors Lights and cheers to the silver bullet. And that's what I'm breaking open for you guys tonight.
Oh, those mountains are so blue right now. Let's go.
It's a surprise to me. One visit, take me to the Rocky Mountains. Let's go.
Let's go. I love it. All right, Chad, what are you drinking?
I got Elvis juice tonight. Brewdog.
Oh, good one.
Yeah, it's classic. It's just a classic one. It's good. Smooth drinking.
I love how they have that at like every event now in like a tall boy can. And it always just feels like it tastes better when you're. I was at a concert Monday night down at Jacobs Pavilion and just Elvis juice tall boy cans. It tasted great. It always tastes better at an event. That's a great beer.
Okay. I'm simple. I think that gets a little fancy. That's why I stick to the Coors Light.
Yeah. I had a feeling I should have grabbed like my Corona in there, but I couldn't find any. But
I'm the beer snob of the group, so I appreciate the simplicity. But
you'll have to excuse him, Jason.
Lay off me, Chad. Chad, I went to a place that I wanted to go ever since I saw you went there on that. Remember when you went on that like family vacation that was like a surprise and you didn't know where you were going to go next and you had to like open envelopes to tell you where to go or whatever?
Yeah, that was sick.
So I took the family out to dinner last night. We went down to Missing Mountain Brewery down in Cuyahoga Falls.
Yeah.
And that place is sweet. Sitting out on the river and like hanging. That was great. So grabbed a 4-pack from Missing Mountain. This is the Wicked Trickler.
Oh, boy.
The Wicked Trickler. And it's like a hazy IPA. It is, and it's delicious.
Looks like it's peeing on the front. Like, what is that?
You know what? I think that's kind of the joke, Chad, is it's a Wicked Trickler.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, wow. Nice.
Yep.
All right.
Hey, if you're ever in Cuyahoga Falls, go to Missing Mountain.
Cheers, Jason.
Cheers.
All right.
All right, boys. Cheers. Let's get into episode 280. And Jason Trusnik, again, we're going to get a little into the Browns. We're going to get into a little high school football. Let's talk about you for a minute because you had your couple of years here in Cleveland, and it was always a fun story. Local guy gets to play with the Browns. We got a guy like that on the Browns right now. But born and raised here in Northern Ohio, and you made a bit of a name for yourself down there as a polar bear at Ohio Northern. Just kind of talk about that career there at Ohio Northern, because there's some big headlines that came out of that college football career.
Yeah, for sure. I think if you look back, I think that's what kind of I share now is my story. It's like people don't realize you go back to even high school. I mean, I wrestled my freshman year at 112 pounds. Believe that, right? And then I didn't even start till my senior year. I was a quarterback, and then they moved me to defensive end, which kind of ultimately took me to the Polar Bears. But there is just, Division III football, and I did want nothing more than just to carry on 4 years of football. That's all I wanted to do, and just the constant, kind of things my dad just continued to teach me is just look, the opportunities will come wherever that is, whether that was just Ohio Northern, whether that's an education, and just kept knocking and had my opportunities. And man, it's the 8 Ohio. There's not much more than a couple Wilson footballs come from there, but after that, I guess me a little bit.
How big were you your senior year? You started 112 your freshman. How big were you your senior year?
Yeah, in high school, I was about 6'1", 6'2", about 190 pounds. I still wasn't all that big. But as I tell everybody, good luck. I mean, what I teach my kids now is like, there wasn't somebody that wasn't going to quit. I will fight to the end. I'll believe in everything. I'll lose some, but shit, I'm a believe in everything I do. And that was kind of the way I did it.
Dude, you go down. You go down swinging. I mean, it's the only way to go down. Oh man. So yeah, you led you to the Polar Bears 4 years, and something special kind of happened, because I was curious, and I looked this up. Something special happened within that polar bear career. 2005, you break the 110 game regular season streak of Mount Union. I mean, in Ada, Ohio, when you beat the Mount Union Purple Raiders, there's got to be a few Coors Lights happening after that game too. I mean, what was that celebration like, man? What was the celebration like that night?
Oh, dude, it's, you go back, you look at that. My coach in college played at Mount Union. He was a running back, Dean Paul. So it was something special for him at the time, and just to go in there and to beat Mount Union, like you said, to knock him off on a 110 game win streak. I'll give you the other kicker though, that I sit back and. As we're sitting back and laughing, I sit around with my college buddies. There's about 12 to 16 of us. We sit back every season or every spring, and we go golfing together and we laugh. And one of their biggest laughs in 2005 that comes from that is I did not play in that game. So that is one of their biggest things. They go, "Hey, we didn't even need you. I'm glad you played in the NFL for 10 years, but we didn't even need you that night." So it is a good laugh. It is a good story with my buddies, but damn, it still irks me. But hey, we beat them, but I still have to hear that, 20 odd years later.
10 years in the NFL, and they got that one thing that can always hang over your head.
I'll be 90 and still be doing that. So, but it's a great story that we beat them, but even a better one to sit around the campfire with some buddies.
That's right. You get up to 90, you can turn down the hearing aids at that point. You don't even have to listen to them give you crap about it. Listen, your career at Ohio Northern, two-time All-American, like, as big of a name as you could make for yourself at that point. But, I think we sit and talk, and we all watch college football, and, we know how incredible it is for somebody to make it even from a bigger school to the NFL. I mean, just the vast majority of players, even at the top programs, just are not going to make it to the NFL. So you've got this journey, and I'm sure this is a story you share with your guys on your football team now, but you've got this journey from Ada, Ohio at Ohio Northern University. You're undrafted and you get picked up and all of a sudden you're playing in the NFL, man. Just talk about that journey a little bit. And when did you know, listen, yeah, I'm going to do this and I'm going to make it in the NFL?
Yeah. When did the NFL start to become a reality?
Yeah, I think it was after, my junior year, I ended up being defensive player of the year in Division III, and I think that really put me on the map just from a sack record things. I don't think a lot of people realize I come back my senior year, and I always say I think the good Lord has a plan for your life, and to be honest, I got hurt in game 3 of my senior year. If I would have gotten hurt in the second half or the fourth quarter or the fourth game, I would have never been able to come back for my 5th year. So I ended up coming back for a 5th year, and I don't know if people realize that that was giving me an opportunity to honestly grow and continue to work on my craft. At that point, started to get recruited and looked at from the NFL side. And I just, to be honest, I felt like I was just playing football, and these looks and scouts and things like that started to come around. And at that point, I'm like, well, this is even a little bit cooler. You get a guy from the Bengals, or you get a guy from here just coming to check you out. And I didn't really make too much of it because it's just one of those things. It's like, okay, you get a look. But I also realized that 90 guys go in camp and 53 make the team only. And shit, I'm a long ways away. This is just a look. But I think as the time went on, and I had a really good year, and I think at the end of the day I had a really good pro day. And it wasn't until draft day when Eric Mangini kind of gave me my opportunity. And again, an opportunity that came probably changed my life forever. And he knows that, and still keep in touch with him because he really did change my life forever. With where I went and who I met along the way, and why I'm where I'm at today.
Just that, I feel so stupid that I didn't even think about that. But you come out of college and your first team you join is the Jets, and that's Eric Mangini at the time with the Jets. And so he gives you that opportunity. But then the thing that we all remember, those of us that were watching those teams back in 2009, 2010, the Cleveland Browns, is that you get traded over here from the Jets to the Browns, and that's Eric Mangini who traded for you. So just what was that connection like? What How did you make that immediate connection that not just does he give you your shot in the NFL, but then decides when he takes his next job with the Cleveland Browns that you're the guy that he wants to bring along?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's just one of those things of, there's only one way to do things. That was 100%. And that was on the field, that was in my work, that was in drinking beer, whatever you want to call it. But it was everything I was going to do was just give it 100%. And I think that was one of the things when Jimmy saw me do, and that he liked when I was there at the Jets.
And, they needed some guys to, take the team. And at that point, being in my, third and fourth year, making that next step. And that's why, my belief, why he brought me to Cleveland here and gave me my opportunity to play in Cleveland, play back home for the Browns that I grew up sitting behind a pole watching at the old stadium, right? So it's some of the greatest memories I had to come back, and he gave me that opportunity again to come back home and play football.
Just never felt the same. Can we sidebar here for a second, Jason? What do you remember going to that old stadium? I tell it all the time. I remember my uncles throwing firecrackers at the feet of Steeler fans, on the walk to the stadium. What type of memories do you have there?
Yeah, and I was young at that point. My dad and my two brothers, four of us, go to games, and it was just, you did not want to be the opposing team fan. That is one thing you did not want to be. But man, just just what it is today still, I whether win or lose, whether you were at the game this weekend, opening day, even though they lost, I think you look in the history of the Browns, man, they have some of the best fans. And I truly believe that, even as a player, as a young kid growing up, and even now, I still a fan of the Browns. I have my son still a fan of the Browns. And I think they don't go anywhere. Browns fans do not go anywhere. And that's what I truly remember. And, whether it was the sitting in snowstorms and getting beer thrown over your head, I think that ultimately is, the true test of a Browns fan. And it's been cool to see at all levels for sure.
A rite of passage, 100%.
Yeah.
Jason, you probably remember that first time you threw on, because you got traded here in October. So we were in the season when you got here. You probably remember the first time you stepped into that locker room and put on the orange helmet, just as a kid that grew up a Browns fan. And I think sometimes you guys as players are really able to kind of disconnect from the fandom side of things, but it had to be a hell of a moment coming out that tunnel for the first time, putting on the orange and brown, and representing the Browns as a player.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's
Still a little bit surreal to me. When I look back, I honestly, I don't talk too much about the football unless it's stuff like this, a little bit to my kids. I kind of let them all have their moments, even my high school team. But at the end of the day, I look back and I'm like, when I sit back and I look at the pictures when I was a young kid in my little Browns plastic helmet and whatever the uniform was made out of, laying on a couch, and now thinking, man, I'm about to run out of this tunnel for the team I grew up rooting for and we had season tickets for, and it honestly just kind of makes a little dream come true, and it's really, really cool to see.
Now that 2009 season, it was 5-11. It was tough, but at the end, you guys reeled off 4 in a row, and one of them being the coldest fucking game I've ever been in through in my life, in that Steeler game. we were opening up beers in the parking lot. We had to keep our Jason. We had to keep our case of beer under the defroster in our car. just
You're talking about the Steelers game.
Yeah. But it was a win, so it was worth it, man. But you end the year with 4 in a row. What the confidence had to be high going into that next season. Just talk about that season as a whole, but ending it with 4 in a row.
Yeah, for sure. We beat some
great teams moving down that stretch. We beat, I believe it was Saints, Patriots, Steelers. I think that was that little stretch. Like you said, the coldest game. And I think, I think at that point, I thought Eric Mangini was a great coach. I really did. He did a lot of great things. I think it just fell in between the cracks of not having a GM and some of the, front end type stuff. But at the end of the day, I think, we had a great thing going. He brought a lot of great players in. He was trying to clean up things, and looking forward to 2010, definitely with a lot of momentum for sure.
You guys are sitting here talking about the coldest game you can remember, the Steelers game. I think you're forgetting a game, because the coldest game I have ever been to, and it was not even close, was the next week when you guys took down the Jacksonville Jaguars, the last week of the season. I remember This is my distinct memory. You had a sack in that game. I distinctly remember in that game, we sat like when you walked out the tunnel to go to your seats, our seats were just like right there on the corner. Like we didn't have to go anywhere. We just like walked out and sat. My buddy and I went over to the concession stand, grabbed a beer, and from the time we left the concession stand, walked down the tunnel and sat in our seats, the top of the beer was completely frozen over.
That's the same
completely
Pittsburgh
frozen
game.
over.
That's the same Pittsburgh game. But we're Clevelanders. We tough through it, you know.
Dude, I'll chew a beer. I'm not above chewing on a beer.
Through the iceberg, you'll finish it. You'll be fine.
Yeah, right. Obviously, 2010 did not go the way anybody wanted it to go either, especially after that ending. I remember how excited people were after you guys rattled off 4 in a row to end that season. The 2010 season didn't go as well as anybody wanted, but there's a game that stands out to me in that 2010 because it might be one of the best games I've ever gone to, even though you guys lost it. But I wonder where this ranks as far as the games that you played for the Cleveland Browns. Do you remember that New York Jets game in 2010, the overtime? Santonio Holmes scored a touchdown in overtime to win it for the Jets. That was one of the best games I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean,
It's one of those games where you think about some of the greatest games, and that is, and it's just, whether you want to call it the curse, you want to call it whatever you want to call it. I mean, the Browns have been part of some great games on and off. I mean, it really has been. And, here's the one thing I do know is like, dude.
Whoa.
All right. Bye.
Sorry, Jason. I don't know what just happened there, but you're back.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it, whether you're a player, whether you're a fan, whether you're a coach, you truly want to see this team win, right? And I think that goes for everybody. You really, truly want to see, I think, across the board, the Browns do something special and win games and go somewhere, and I think you could think of, I think any fan ultimately for any team and any coach and any player that comes here ultimately does want to see that for this city.
Jason, we're going to get into the Browns here in just a second, but one last question about your time with the Browns. And I just want to get to this from the comments. Our buddy Drew in Brick City, who's probably a bunch of Bush heavies in at this point, wants to know, do you have, as a Brown, what was your favorite game you played in?
favorite game I played in.
I'm gonna give you 2 just because I know that's illegal, but I'll give you both. I would say it was on that stretch. That Steelers game Thursday night was one of the coldest games I've been a part of, and it was really, really cool. I mean, although cold and I'm a sleeveless guy, I mean, it was just to play Pittsburgh in the cold and beat them and send them on their way. That was pretty cool. But I'm also a special teams guy. And to be on the punt, I opened a business with Reggie Hodges. So against New Orleans, we had that long run. And in that game, we had another fake. We had a fumble by David Bowens. I mean, there was so much stuff that happened in that game. It was super cool to be part of as far as a special teams game and things like that, which is super cool down there in the dome.
I remember you guys sacked Ben like 25,000 times that Pittsburgh game. That was amazing.
I was just thinking about that Reggie Hodges fake punt like 2 days ago. I will just the parting of the seas, and there goes Reggie, just down the middle of the field too, middle of the field.
I still so I opened a business with him, and I still give. I mean, you got to score. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to score.
100%. What are you doing getting tackled down there, Reggie?
It's like everyone. It's like every Saint went. Is he running?
That's a good one. You guys should run that play in Strongsville. Jason, real quick, let's talk about the Browns at this point. Again, 0-1, but I think a lot of people are really struggling with what to make of what they think the Cleveland Browns are going to be this year. And for you, obviously, the coaching perspective, the players' perspective, I'll give you something that I've thought about a lot, and I'll let you tell me where I'm a total moron and where maybe you agree. But coming off of back-to-back years where they went 11-6 and then 3-14, when I look at just the roster construction, like when you look at the year they went 11-6, remember Nick Chubb hurt very early in that season. When you look at the way the roster is constructed, and then you throw Joe Flacco at the quarterback, man, they just remind me they feel like they're going to play a lot more like that team from 2 years ago than the team that they were trying to play like last year. Do you see that? Did you see anything in week 1, even though it was a loss, that made you feel like, all right, the Browns are going to be much tougher than maybe what like the national crowd is giving them credit for?
Yeah, I mean,
I think if you look at the team, absolutely. I mean, from a defensive perspective, I think they played great. I mean, they have the weapons, and especially up front, you got some young, hungry guys. I mean, you got obviously Myles Garrett, you got other defensive ends. I mean, I think they truly are going to have a good defense. They really will. And then obviously the offense. I think Joe Flacco at the end of the day, look, are you going to maybe get some heroic plays here and there? No, but I think he controls the game well. He knows the game. From what I hear and understand, he's a great leader and helping everybody out and things like that. So, I think, look, at the end of the day, could you be 1-0? Should they be 1-0? Yes. But I think there's a lot of great takes from the Browns and where they're going and get a couple things cleaned up, to be honest with you. I mean, they played a very good team in Cincinnati, right, in my opinion. But, I'm not sure that we're a team that's going to go put 45 on the scoreboard, right? But I think with the way the defense playing, how much do you have to put on to clean up a couple catches, things like that? I think they can honestly control a game, both sides of the ball.
Now, to piggyback off that, Jason, we're not going to put up 45 points, like you said, and I don't think we will. But how do we score points? Because we really need to do that to win football games. We did not do that a whole lot last year. And starting off with only 17 points or 16 points is not a good start either. Like, how does that Browns offense, even though, yes, it's more of a ball control offense, how do they score points? I know it seems like a silly, stupid question, but it's like it feels like it needs to be fixed. Yeah, easy, right? Easier said than done.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, I guess you got to start. I mean, you got to use your weapons. You got a good old line. I mean, how do they do it? Oh man, I mean, yeah. I mean, I'd say, I don't know. I don't know which way. I don't know which way you want to go on this, right? Like,
right.
I mean, certain guys are gonna have to step up. It's little drops and things like that are going to cost you the game. How are they going to put lights out? It'll be interesting to see how they take that game. And I think the run game's got to go. If you look at when we were doing really well, the run game's got to go because we're just. I don't think we're a team to throw 300-400 yards. I just don't. Yeah. But if we can open up the run game in the pass, which then opens up the passing game, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, this Stefanski scheme is predicated on like a good run game and play action passing. But if that run game's not opening up, it feels like it's going to be a struggle. Like, it's going to be a grinded out, grimy type games if we're going to win games this season.
Yeah, and it is.
And if that's the way it's got to be, grind it out each week, then we got to grind it out each week. And that what I do know is that unfortunately the loss, but you got to win the close games when you don't think you're going to 17-0, you're not going to win them all, and it's the variation of playing 5, 6, 7 points, whatever that is, or less. We got to take advantage of all points. We can't just sit there and let points slip away. And that one this weekend, I feel like we did. And whether that's a touchdown or a catch here and there or a extra point field goal, it's everybody, right? That's all sides of the ball. And when you're not lights out, you got to take advantage of those plays to make sure the game goes your way.
All right, so you were 10 years in the NFL. You've been in a lot of locker rooms. You've been around a lot of guys, and especially on the professional side, right? Things are different in high school. Things are different in college. But on the professional side, I was thinking about this because obviously a rookie kicker who nobody really even knew was going to make the team through all of camp until the very end. And then Andre Schmidt comes out and he misses a field goal and an extra point, and a game you lose by 1. I mean, the maths, and that's difficult. But what I see this almost kind of like delicate handling of this kid. And I wonder in the locker room, this is maybe specifically a kicker question. So I wonder if you've ever seen it. I wonder in a locker room, is there ever does it ever not get delicate? Is there ever because I feel like somebody needs to go up to him and because I think he could probably still be good. He's a rookie. I feel like instead of being like, oh man, you can do it. Next time you'll get him. That's great. I feel like somebody needs to go up to him and be like, listen, we love you. We think you could be a good player, but
that was bullshit.
Kick the shit through the uprights. Like, dude, this is unacceptable. Kick the shit through the uprights. Like, is he hearing that in the locker room?
It's hard. I've been a part of one really big game. So I played in when I was in Minnesota. Right, we played Seattle for the first round of playoffs back in that would have been 2017. We missed that's when the Minnesota, we were outside and we missed a 19-yard chip shot to lose the game in the first round of playoffs. Against Seattle there, and you look back and it's like, man, we could have made other plays. I think the coaching staff you always try to deflect away from everything, right? Because there's always multiple plays in a game that you want to make, right? You can look at any game and say there's 5 to 7 plays that we can make the change of game. But at the end of the day, just like I have screwed up in my career in certain times, and because I had a job or an ME, mental error. At the same time, I think we just got to take ownership, and it is what it is. From what I've been a part of, no one really steps up and says that. I think it's one of those things that it's kind of known a little bit. It's like, look, we all have a job. We're getting paid. They're getting paid a lot of money to do their job, and I think at the end of the day, I don't think rookie or not, he's sitting back thinking, oh shit, yeah, I'm okay. Like, truly think he's probably like, damn, I may be screwed up, and I'm sure other guys in the game could also think that way sometimes too, as have I,
Jason, I want to get into high school football in a minute, but I got to ask, we just skipped over this. Some wild moments in your playing career with the Browns. You've got one of the great quarterbacks on the quarterback jersey as your quarterback in 2010 when you were with the Browns. Jake Delhomme was the starter, which is hilarious. But that was the Peyton Hillis year. That was the Peyton Hillis year with the Cleveland Browns, man. When you were watching big old country boy Peyton Hillis going off for over 1,000 yards and steamrolling guys, and man, what was that like watching for you as a guy that came in? He was like a fullback in Denver, and he came in and just destroyed everybody that year.
Not in cover 1 year. How about that, right? Like,
yes.
But dude, he really was just steamrolling. Like, you look at one guy that just ran over people, and I mean, it was just run hard and run over people, and he did. He had a freaking great year, and I mean, what a phenomenal dude too. At the same time, like, you want to talk about country respectful dude. I mean, it was one of those. And honestly, you talk about, you're gonna move into high school football. One of the things I try to teach my kids is like being a respectful dog, right? Of like being a dog. When you step inside that white line, like, you got to be a dog. You got to want to win that fight. You want to do everything, rip, tear, fight till you win. But at the same time, like, step off and be a respectful man. And like, that was that dude. And I think there's nothing more to a testament of a player. Like, there's guys that want to talk shit and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But to me, like, can I run somebody over and then get off the field and like just walk away and smile and be respectful off? I think that would piss me off. I'd love to piss people off more that way than the other way, So, but yeah, the way he ran, man, it was fun to watch for a year. I've had that chance to watch a couple guys, and he was definitely one of them.
Did you ever have to try to tackle him in practice? Like, did you any scout team?
That's what I was just wondering.
Thud is thud, thud is thud. Let's call it that way.
The other thing, as a guy that was a pretty good pass rusher, in your first year that you came over, you had a really good, your stat line with the Browns was great in 2009. You really were impactful for that team in that back half of the season. But you talk about practices, and Chad brings it up. And I think anytime we get a defensive player from kind of that era of the Cleveland Browns, especially somebody that gets after the passer, I think we always talk about one thing, man. That was a special offensive line for the Cleveland Browns, especially back then. We were talking Alex Mack back then, but the Hall of Famer, man, Joe Thomas. I think just one of the top favorite athletes in Cleveland history. Going up against that dude in practice, how much did you learn just going up against Joe Thomas?
Yeah, for sure. I think if you look
at, if I look back in my career, if I go back to my high school days, I got a chance to play against Rob Sims, who played for, Seattle and now finished in Detroit. And that was when they moved me to defensive end. I practiced against that guy every day in high school. Woo. And I truly believe that allowed me to do what I did in college and then ultimately move forward. At the same time, coming, fast forward 4 years from there, and then, going against Joe Thomas and guys like that in practice. I mean, at the Jets, it was DeBrickashaw Ferguson. You go over to the, you go over to the Browns and now you're Joe Thomas, and ultimately, like,
when you talk about a challenge and you talk about getting better, about you facing two of the best D tackles at that time for last. So I love the challenge and I love the competition with those dudes for sure.
All right, Jason, just a couple more quick questions, but we want to transfer over to your life right now as we wrap up our Coors Light over there. So now you're the head coach, Strongsville Mustangs, man, Greater Cleveland Conference. Big-time football gets played in that conference. We're talking about the big boys, Mentor and Medina and Brunswick and Strongsville. And I think you guys got Cleveland Heights this week. And a lot of big-time football gets played in that conference. Just talk about, like, the journey to Strongsville High School and how that conversation got started and what brought you to become the head coach of the Mustangs.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm loving it. I came, Strongsville became my home, obviously. And you talk about the Browns, allowing myself to play for the Browns. I bought a house in Strongsville back in 2010.
You and Bill Cowher.
Stereotypical.
Right? So here I go. Here I'm in Strongsville. And, fast forward, 15 years or 14 years. And, here I am coaching Strongsville high school football. So, but ultimately, so I have a son who's now a freshman. I was just coaching him when I got done and was looking for that next step. And I knew at the moment it wasn't going to be college or NFL. Like, I wanted to not move around. I moved around for 11 years and I was ultimately wanted to stay put, but I also wanted to give the game back to what it gave me. Right. And one of the sayings I use, and one of my good coaches who ended up coaching with me, who was with the Browns for a little bit, is Eric Cush. Right. Yeah. He was an offensive lineman. So he's my offensive line coach. Right. So you got the two of us. And the ultimate thing we say is, like, look, you take the elevator up in life to the highest moment of the NFL. And now we get to take it all the way down and now try to bring these boys back up. And that's the ultimate test in so many different ways to coach football at the high school level. Like, this isn't like only 4 to 7% are going to go on and play college football. So I got a couple kids. I'm fortunate to have one or two right now that are really, really good, moving on. So I love the journey to help these kids out, not only in football, but life too. And it's fun for me.
Now,
hold on, Chad. Hold on. We have to do this right now. I have to do, the question.
Well, it's going to sound weird then when I go back.
you know the question I have to ask. Jason, I'm a proud graduate. I'm a proud Texas Aggie. I'm a proud fighting Texas Aggie. And man, when you live up in this area, you hear a lot of talk about some kid out of Strongsville named Storm Miller.
Yeah.
And his path towards Texas A&M University. Talk to me a little bit about this kid. What do I need to be expecting as a future Aggie?
Well, for sure. Well, I'm definitely going to a game. I'm going to go watch him. So if you want to go down there, let's go. So I'll go watch a game. So hit me up.
Kyle Field, it's the best.
Yeah. So, but honestly, at the end of the day, to have a guy like that in your program, right? It helps. One, honestly, helps create culture. He's an awesome kid. I mean, one of the hardest workers in the weight room, one of the hardest workers on the field, knows the game, wants to learn the game, wants me to hold a high expectation for himself. Right? There's a lot of people in that position that would sit there like, I'm good, like, I'm the guy type thing. And honestly, it's just, the dude's got a motor. I mean, I could play in that defensive end, I could play in that linebacker. He truly is the testament of, like, honestly, just a guy that loves football. I tell him all the time, I wish I had his talent when I was his age. Fast forward, he's probably 4 or 5 years ahead of where I was. Like, this is me a junior in college. Like, he's 4 years behind. Because he just got a motor and he goes, and you're not stopping him. Good luck. Like, that's what you're getting. Your dude he absolutely loves football and runs. So he will be a good help for the Aggies for sure.
Storm Miller just sounds like an SEC guy too, right? Like I feel like he's going to be wearing boat shoes and bright polos, like before we know it.
Off.
Like, I just feel like that's like what SEC guys do. Like,
I mean, I think I should just change my son's name to something good like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what I got to do, but maybe change it.
Like Thunder Trusnik. I like that. So I wanted to ask you. So before you wanted to ask about Storm, I knew we were going to get to that, but I was curious. So, like,
that earlier.
After your career, I wanted to I want. Was it? Oh, there you go.
Had to get it.
There you go.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's
Man.
go, Storm.
Hey, are they going to win this weekend?
Man, I'm going. No, they're not going to win this weekend. But I'm gonna hope. I want them to win this weekend. I'm gonna hope they win. It's gonna be fun if they do.
Well, they got a hell of a
Class coming in next year, so we'll see.
We need some kids. Can you tell Storm that we need some kids that know how to win big games? And Texas A&M would be great. It'd be great.
I'm getting them all for.
I guess you might. Someone else is going to be there too. Just a little breaking news. Someone else is going to be there working for TV. Go. Anyway, after your playing career, Jason, did you always want to come back to Ohio? That's my first question. I have a second one, but
we were living in Carolina. We were actually going to stay there. I thought that was a good spot, but ultimately,
You know,
I know we're a good place to raise my kids on. Honestly, I'm not too worried about the weather. I'm good there. So I think ultimately came back home to where family was. My family is from here. Kind of had a business already, had the house in Strongsville. So it was ultimately a really easy place to kind of settle down. And once the kids got involved, I have 3 young kids. Once they got involved in school and we got involved in everything around here, Strongsville, I knew it was a place. So when this job opened up, I knew it was my next stepping stone. And ultimately honestly, to sit here and listen. So I've lived in the city since I got done for 6 years, listen to people say, hey, these kids, you don't have enough athletes to win in Strongsville. They all leave to Eds. They all leave to here. And you don't have them big enough. You don't have them fast enough. And here we go. Fast forward. We, 7-5 last year. Haven't won a playoff game in so many years and off to a good start this year. I'm out to prove people wrong, just like I did in my career.
That's awesome. And that was you actually transitioned me perfectly into my next question is you come into the program, it had struggled for a bunch of years. Right. And I was curious what you saw in the program, how you were able to turn things around there.
Yeah, I think that they want to.
I guess the 2 biggest things. One is just clean up some fundamentals and techniques of football, right? Ultimately, it comes back. I know it sounds so cliche, but like bringing some background from the NFL for defense. I bring in my offensive line coach, brought a good coordinator who was, been a head coach for a while. So bringing all those guys. But ultimately, at the end of the day, when you go back to like, look, we're going to step off the bus and good luck beating us. And if you do, you're going to go back hurting. So I know it sounds so stupid, but that's the way I handle it. So it's getting kids to believe in what we did. I mean, we faced a good Avon Lake team our first week this year, and man, it's just getting the kids to believe they stayed in the game. We were down 14 twice and continue to fight back, win at the end. Olmsted Falls was a great fight the other night. And it's just one of those things like for a high school kid, you're only going to have maybe 1 or 2 superstars on your team. So what about the other, 100 and some kids? Like, to me, is like, truly, can you get a 14 to 18-year-old to believe in themselves and lay it on the line for you and themselves and their teammates? That's my challenge. And that's the fun part I love is the whole mental game. Because I could call the same run or pass every time, but can you ultimately, like, I tell them all the time, I'm going to take the coach on one-on-one, and you better take the next guy one-on-one. Like, and to me, it's like that belief in your mind can take you so far, and that is what ultimately I think will win me games moving forward.
Man, it's got to be exciting though, because it is one of those programs that there's a bunch of those sleeping giant kind of programs. We talk about it with Brunswick a little bit when we cover them, a little bit of a sleeping giant down there. Teams that are just traditionally big time programs. But your coach, you step in and coach in Ohio high school football, and what the region that you always talk about is Division I, Region 1, right? You're talking about St. Ed, St. Ignatius, and Mentor, and Medina and Brunswick, and you got Camp McKinley down there. Now you got the Toledo teams and Whitmer and Perrysburg and all those teams that are just the big dogs of Northeast Ohio. Well, and now I guess Northwest, just North Ohio, I guess we'll say football. That's got to be pretty exciting too, to just come back as a coach too and be like, hey, listen, I got to get us good so that we get into the postseason and that we can make some noise. But once we get into that postseason, it's just nothing but big boy football in there.
There ain't no doubt. I mean, it is. And I think everyone realizes, like you said, Mike, it's just, I mean, in Division I, Region 1, you're playing all the big teams. You play one in a couple of weeks and some of these other teams. And you got to be ready every week. You really do. But I ultimately love the challenge, one, of developing a program where we are in Strongsville to being able to keep kids in Strongsville and realize, like, all it takes is a couple each year not to go to the Eds, go to the Adventures, all these teams we got to play. And ultimately, that's the reason you look back, like, that's
the reason I went to Ohio Northern. Like I went there because nobody else wanted to beat me, and we had a bunch of my buddies that just wanted to beat Mount Union. Like we were going to be the team, and we did. So like I look back, all these stories just fast forward to me, and I'm like, look, come stay with me. We're going to beat these private schools. Let's go. Like I want to face them in the playoffs because I want to prove to people that as a public school we can do it, and that's based on like just believing in yourself. Obviously, the scheme and playing hard, but I want to be that team that can handle these big old schools, the Eds and Ignatius, and let's face the giant. Let's go.
Jason, I feel like we became friends here tonight, so I feel like I can say this to you. Yeah, just a quick correction. You were talking about Ohio Northern beating Mount Union, and you said we did it, and like,
Sure.
I think they did. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking with you.
I feel it now, though. Like we talked about it, and I feel like I did.
It's great. My friends beat them. I was there. So this is kind of like coach. It's like coaching. My team will beat the guys. I'll just be there.
All right, Jason, man, we're going to let you go. Last question. Ravens are about to celebrate 30 years.
Oh, those motherfuckers.
Stealing the Browns from Cleveland in the game where they're playing the Browns. Are the Browns going to come out with a little rage in this one? Are they going to destroy them?
There's that. It's got to be the talk, and you got to defend your homeland, and I mean whatever that tagline Stefanski wants to put out there, but it's got to defend the homeland for the Browns and your team, and I think they come out victorious and handle what they need to handle this week. I think it means more to us than it means to them.
The audacity of those pricks, man. Come on.
Like Jason Trusnik, man, this has been awesome. Coach, we're going to call you. Chad and I'm sure we will see you on our broadcast at some point in one of our Medina games against Medina or Brunswick or something like that. But you're doing great stuff there in Strongsville. It's very fun to watch the turnaround happening there, and just nothing but big expectations, and it feels like you're meant for that. So really appreciate you. Appreciate you sharing your story, talking Browns with us and all that. And hope you have a good rest of the night, and good luck this weekend for you and your Mustangs.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks
for having me out, and good luck with everything moving forward. Appreciate you.
See you,
awesome.
Jason.
Thanks, Jason. It's great.
How about Jason Trusnik? Man, that guy's. I'm fired up. I couldn't run through a wall because I'm fat and old now, but like,
no, you could. Just
I'm
try.
ready. I'm ready.
No, just try right now. See if you can.
Could you imagine being a high school kid and that dude walks in and he's your coach?
Yeah, but,
yeah. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I'll do anything.
I will set my apartment on fire.
Yeah, let's go. I don't know why your high school kids work. What's he living alone in his apartment?
Probably. I don't know.
This is Strongsville.
Yeah.
By the way, I think maybe
I will set my development home on fire.
Yes, my cul-de-sac living. My favorite part of the whole interview was when he talked about his home in Strongsville, and you and I just thought the exact same thing.
This is Bill Cowher.
What a stereotype. I love it's one of my favorite things that happens in Cleveland sports is like anytime there's a rumor that somebody wants to come to Cleveland, it's like, I heard they're looking for a home in Strongsville. Well, Jason Trusnik got one.
Strongsville.
And he still got one.
Strongsville, Crocker Park, or Avon. That's where all the athletes live.
Yeah, fair. Although I think Flacco lives on the east side. I think Flacco's the east side guy, which I totally could see.
Hey, Joey, you want to come over for a beer? He's just over.
Look out, your neighbor's going to come over and just hand you one.
That'd be awesome.
And then leave. I was just hanging out. I had a little family get together with some cousins on Sunday, and they ran into Flacco at Mitchell's over at like Van Aken.
Let's go. No, yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. He lives in like Shaker. Shaker, Chagrin, something like that.
I could pull off Shaker. That's all right. Hey, anyways, big time shout out to Jason Trusnik, the head coach of the Strongsville Mustangs, but also former Cleveland Brown, a high school college football legend here in Northern Ohio, and a guy, man, what a good time. What a good time it was talking to Jason and going over everything football. So wish him and his football team nothing but success as they go forward. But big time thank you again to him. And so much fun. I kind of forgot. There's just been so much bullshit with the Browns.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot how much fun there was in those couple of years in 2009 and 10.
Yeah.
They win a lot, right? They were 1-12 in 2009, and they finished, or they were 1-11. I don't remember what they were, 1-11. And they finished the season 5-11.
Yeah.
I remember how fun that was. You talk about the Steelers game. I talk about that Jaguars game.
Yeah.
And then the next year was that It started with Jake Delhomme. It went over to Colt McCoy, and it was just Peyton Hillis just steamrolling everybody.
5-11, yeah. 5-11 in 2010 was masked by Peyton running for 2,000 yards.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I also very much, I know he's an unpopular figure, but I very much agree with Jason Trusnik. I think one of the best coaches they've had since they've come back is absolutely Eric Mangini. And if he would have had a shot longer, they would have been a better team.
What makes you say that?
I think he was a culture builder.
Okay. All right.
And I think since 1999, one of the things that they've just been lacking. They've had X's and O's guys. They've had smart guys and dumb guys and football guys and whatever. But I think, the part of the biggest reason they've been dog shit since 1999 is just this complete lack of a culture.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And I think a lot of that does get attributed to the fact that they just are like, for the first time, this is why I just can't pull myself, no matter what, to advocate for firing a coach again or to advocate for firing a GM, because you just to go through it again.
Yeah.
Especially with a young group of guys. What are we going to do? Hire a new coach? And now these 13 rookies that are on the roster, that's not their guys.
Right.
They didn't want those guys. So are we just going to start over again? That, I think, truly, Joe Thomas called it out on the Perennial Asshole of the Week's podcast. Did you see this, Chad? Joe Thomas was on consistent Asshole of the Week.
I saw that he was on
Asshole of the Century, Johnny Manziel's podcast.
Yeah.
And there's two things that I want to talk about that. One, though, he talked about that. Johnny asked him, like, why have the Browns just been shit? Which is a good question.
Sure.
And that was Joe's answer was because they keep bringing in young guys and then they keep switching coaches. And then the new coaches weren't the ones that brought in the young guys. So then they don't really want to keep the young guys around. And then there's a new group of young guys and then a new coach. And it's just this vicious cycle of like, those aren't my guys. So they've gotten rid of talented players over the years because they weren't their guys. And then those coaches get fired. And that's just, it's a cycle that is proven over a quarter of a century to be unsustainable. So just keep your coach.
That's why Andrew and Kevin are going to be around for a while.
I hope they are. They are. No matter what.
Because that means we're winning. That's why. If they're around for a long time, that means we're winning. So yes, please stay.
The other thing, though, did you see the clip? I didn't see the whole thing because I just can't pull myself to listen to Johnny Cokeface talk for 2 hours about anything. And I loved, and even though it's Joe Thomas, Joe Thomas can't get me to snort up a line and listen to Johnny Manziel.
Oh God!
But like, did you also hear like Johnny Manziel kind of asked him about his time and what he remembers, and Joe Thomas just like gave him a very honest answer. Did you see that clip?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did see that clip.
He's like, I remember you never showed up to meetings and you didn't take it serious. And I'm watching these guys who didn't have the talent you had showing up and working harder, and you just decided you didn't want to, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, this is great. This is amazing. This is catharsis, baby. Catharsis.
Yeah, no, I did see that, and I thought it was brilliant. I mean, it's something that Johnny needed to hear, right? It's something he needed to hear from someone that he respects. I mean, if you can't listen to a Hall of Famer and the criticisms that he lays on you, then you have even bigger problems than you already have. Besides being a coke face, and it's something that he needed to hear. Whether he takes it to heart or not, I don't know, because he's taken things to heart. He's admitted his flaws, his faults in the past, but then just turns right around and just bags on Cleveland again and bags on the Browns. So we'll see. But it was a nice moment at the time that you did hear the podcast, that you did hear the comments.
Well, it's been this onslaught of Johnny Manziel lately, right? It was him with Braylon Edwards on his show where there were just clips everywhere of the two of them just bashing the shit out of the Browns. Johnny talking about, every week I would fly out on Monday and just breathe the Texas air. Shut the fuck up. And then I would fly in as last minute as I could. And Braylon Edwards is like, yeah, I hated that place too. And I'm like, you both were dickheads. Yeah. And then it's Johnny going on with Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco. And for some reason, those two guys are giving him a platform. and he's talking shit about Cleveland again. So just to get Joe Thomas in there to be like, hey, remember that time you fucked up your whole career and it wasn't about Cleveland?
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah. Hey, Braylon, we didn't hate you because you went to Michigan. We hate you because you didn't catch the ball except for 1 year.
We wanted to love you, Braylon.
Yeah.
Right.
You would have been
7 was unbelievable.
You would have been easily loved if you would have just fucking shown some consistency.
Oh, Lord. Anyways, all right. So real quick, let's dive into this just very fast, Chad, and then we'll go on to our last subjects for the last half hour of the show. But Browns Ravens this week again. I said this on Inside the Browns beat. I really tried to find some kind of contact information for Steve Everett to get him on as like a special surprise guest.
So did I.
But I couldn't. He's again that guy just like lives on a houseboat somewhere, and he's just inaccessible.
He's on a lean-to in the Keys.
He's like Ron Tugnut, but further out there. And I couldn't get him, but man, he would have been.
You can find him painting near Margaritaville in Key West.
But here's the scoop, Chad. Let's talk about.
Yeah.
Let's just do a little quick Browns chat here. Let's talk about what we saw against the Bengals. And I just want you, go ahead. Give me your thoughts on what we saw against the Cincinnati Bengals.
This is a situation, Mike, where I hate that multiple things are true. Right? Because there's so much to like about this game. Yep. And there were some things to hate about this game.
Yep.
And the reason that there were some things to hate about this game is because the things to hate about this game are the things that the Browns have just not been able to do like for a long, long time. And that's just win close games, right? Or at least have not been able to do it consistently. And that's just win close games, whether it's a missed extra point, whether it's dumb penalties, whether it's not being able to score points, not being able to capitalize off of good defense. It's just not being able to run the football now, which everybody's going to go off because Nick Chubb got 60 fucking yards on 20 carries for Houston. But there was so much to like about this game. The things to like about this game, that 2023 defense is back. It is back. You got pressure all game. Myles Garrett wanted to just basically murder Joe Burrow. I mean, that hit he laid on him, even though it wasn't a sack, that hit he laid on him after Burrow released the ball. Woo!
Oh, yes.
Smashed him.
It was gorgeous.
Smashed him. But yeah, that 2023 defense is back. If you hold the Cincinnati Bengals, an offense like the Cincinnati Bengals to 7 yards in the second half, you're going to give yourself a chance to win. But the goddamn kicker. Kicker.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on it, and then I want your thoughts. Let's pause on the kicker for a minute.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So a lot of people are kind of mad that, the moves have come and gone for the week, and a lot of people thought the Browns were going to go out and try to bring in another kicker. And I hate that. I don't want them to. I know he had a bad game, but we got to stop with this shit that every time a kicker misses a kick, even in a big situation like Schmidt did in this game, that you just have to immediately address it and remove him. Like, this kid is in his first NFL game. I just want to remind people that Phil Dawson kicked at a clip of 60% his rookie year.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you got to understand that a rookie, even if it's a kicker, is still a rookie.
Right.
And I don't want to make excuses because you have to make 35-yard kicks. Like, you have to.
Right.
Phil Dawson missed extra points his rookie year. And that's when they were like 17-yard kicks. Like,
right.
I think everybody wanted them to bring in like a veteran and like try to compete for the job or whatever. And I'm sitting here going, man, I feel like that is what you're going to do to ruin the confidence. Like, obviously Schmidt's confidence is probably already shaken a little bit, but you bring in a veteran after one game of him not playing well. And I think you might as well just kiss this kid's future as a kicker goodbye for the next couple of years. Like, I just feel like, yes, you're the kicker. You have a basic job. You got to make your kicks. I'm not trying to make excuses for that. And as a matter of fact, it was the question I asked Jason Trusnik. I want somebody in the locker room in his face a little bit like, don't fucking do that again. We support you. We think you deserve to be here, whatever, but don't do that shit again. And instead, I just, there's the other end of that spectrum of like, they got to get rid of him. And I'm like, no, you can't. It's not like there's just a perfect kicker laying around at this point. And what are you talking about?
Listen, if the kid deserves a chance to redeem himself, right? It's only been 1 week. I get it. Yes, obviously that loss is frustrating. I mean, if the Browns keep losing games like this with a missed extra point or a missed field goal or just leaving points on the board, I'm going to hate them even more than I do now. But it is. But yeah, like, and not to mention, if you want to bring in a veteran kicker, if you look at the free agent kickers right now, it's nothing but a graveyard of former Browns kickers.
Just trash.
Zane Gonzalez. You want to bring him back? You want to bring Riley Patterson back?
Right.
So yeah, no, the kid deserves a chance to redeem himself. Now, if this is a pattern through week 2, week 3, week 4, then yeah, you can't wait that long. Like if you lose these next few games because of a missed extra point, a missed field goal, yeah, this kid's going to be gone quicker than we think he is. But no, as far as this game goes, this week goes, no, he deserves a chance to redeem himself. The kid knows how to kick, right? He wouldn't be in the NFL right now if he didn't know how to kick. Okay. And a lot of kicking is mechanics and it's mental, and you can't ruin the kid's confidence right now. He was great all preseason with in all kinds of situations with pressure bearing down on him. It's not like this was practice for him. He deserves a chance to redeem himself. Now, if he's still doing this shit, like I said, in week 3, week 4, week 5, then yes, we can have the conversation about bringing in a different kicker. But no, as far as this week goes, no. Build the kid up. Tell him don't do that shit again. And if he goes out, and hopefully he goes out and makes these kicks.
A couple good comments. I like this one from Kid Wilson that says, Cade York looked great week 1 and then fizzled. Maybe this goofball will become good after this dud. I love that. And then Sean, you just answered Sean's question, and he answered it the exact same way I would. It says, not that I agree with bringing in a new kicker like a lot of people want, but at what point do you start exploring? And I do think that if this kid stinks in 4 or 5 weeks, then you start looking. I also listen. There's only really one situation. There isn't. I don't know why people act like kickers grow on trees, though. Like it's not like you're just going to go get a kicker, like you said, Chad. What are you going to bring back Zane Gonzalez? That's what we're going to do. That's what's going to happen. The only situation right now, if I were the Browns, that I'd be very closely monitoring is what's happening in Buffalo. Yeah, because their kicker is hurt.
Yeah,
and then they bring in Matt Prater, and he was golden in that game against the Ravens. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe if our guy isn't great, but then Buffalo's kicker comes back and they decide to cut Matt Prater, or they decide to keep Matt Prater or whatever, then maybe I'm going to explore what's going on there. But otherwise, and here's the other thing. Kid Wilson says this. I was just about to bring this up. Andrew Berry said multiple times that he believes in competition at every level. They had competition.
Yeah.
They had competition. That was the competition. This dude, Andre Schmidt, was perfect in the preseason. And Dustin Hopkins sucked again. That was they had other kickers in. I don't remember who it was, but they had other kickers in. But there was a competition, and Schmidt won the competition. Schmidt wasn't supposed to win the competition. This job was supposed. This is the other thing. This job was supposed to be Dustin Hopkins' job, and he was trash. He was trash in practice, and he was trash in preseason. And this other kid was good. So the competition did happen. It was there. And now this kid, the competition now, when you're a kicker, man, it's like golf, isn't it, Chad? The competition is with yourself.
Yeah.
So get your ass out there and make your kicks. And that's what I want this kid to do. But I just feel like you think you're going to go out there and just sign some random dude and he's going to be better. And I feel like the chances of this kid figuring it out is better than signing Zane Gonzalez.
Hey, Greg Joseph's available. Austin Seibert's available.
He's been, Greg Joseph lately, so good. Oh my God. So
bring him back. You want to bring him back?
So good.
76-year-old Greg Zuerlein is still out there.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, look, Serge just says it. Kind of. And this kind of sucks, but like all those options suck. So let's see what the rookie can do.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Yeah, we'll do it live. I'm with you on the Browns, though, this last week. There was just this mix of I really think this game that we saw against the Bengals was like 90% positive, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The run game wasn't great, but you don't have your best pure running back, and we'll see when they get him. I really love the way Dylan Sampson looked, though. Like, holy shit, did I love the way that kid looked?
Yeah, catching a ball out of the backfield. That's what you brought him in for. That's what you spent the draft pick for.
Harold Fannin and David Njoku at the tight end was exactly what I was hoping it was going to look like, and it was exactly right.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh, I love how they're using Fannin. I mean, not just in tight end, using him as an H-back, using him out of the backfield. I like how they're using him.
You know what I love though is I might have said it on. I don't remember what I said. David Njoku moves like a tight end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. He's faster. He looks slower than he is. He's fast, but he's kind of big and bulky and tight endy and wildly athletic and all that, but he moves like a tight end. Harold Fannin moves like a wide receiver. Yeah. Harold Fannin moves like a wide receiver. He made a couple plays where I was like, oh shit. And he ran a couple routes that I was like, I can't remember. The one was a big first down that they got where he kind of, I want to say he like was going to run like a kind of a deep in over the middle. And then he noticed that Flacco was in a little bit of trouble. So he cut off his route, but it was so fast. And he just cut to the sideline and Flacco hit him. Like that dude moves like a receiver.
Yeah.
The way he makes guys miss after the catch. Oh, gorgeous.
For sure.
I would like to see Isaiah Bond a little bit. Like it was one of the, I think what they hit him on like a little swing pass.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it was great. I was like, that never works. And all of a sudden that
and
worked.
He didn't jump.
He caught it and just ran. It was amazing.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Defensively, Mason Graham was really good. The problem with drafting a defensive tackle at the 5th overall pick is that a really good defensive tackle isn't always going to be a stat stuffer, right?
No.
You know, there's really only a handful of guys that I can even think of that were defensive tackle stat stuffers. They're not all going to be Aaron Donald, right?
Well, no, yeah.
But like, I loved watching him. He just looks like a pro out there. Schlesinger was great.
He's a dog.
I think Greg Newsome played.
He is Luke Kuechly. Greg Schlesinger is Luke Kuechly. He's making my Luke Kuechly vibes come to fruition.
I think Greg Newsome was really good. Like I just think there was 90% good. I think the play calling was good. I thought the defensive scheme was good. I thought everything was good. And then outside of the run game, and then obviously you've got the missed kicks, and I'm telling you, Chad, you have one interception. Mm-hmm. That bounces up off the hands of a receiver, even though it was thrown low, and the other team gets it, and you feel unlucky because that just doesn't happen. 2 of them in one game.
I think that's why I think that's why the anger is there for me, right? Because there was a lot to like about this game, but the things to hate were just the same frustrations. Right. It's not like it's new with the Browns, right? It's the same frustration. Like they can't even drop the ball correctly.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Listen, those weren't great throws. Everybody is so quick to be like, that's not Joe Flacco's fault. And like, obviously it's not only Joe Flacco's fault, but it is half his fault. Those were not good balls. Yeah. Those were balls. Guys were trying to run full speed, catching at or below the knee.
Yeah. Well, and they had to, the first one, Judy had to jump back across his body, but it's not like Battle was in position for that interception. He just tipped it up. He just went, whoop, here you go.
Most of the balls that you're going to throw like that ever in your whole life are just, if the guy drops it, it's just going to fall to the ground. It's just going to hit his hands and hit the ground. And twice in one game.
Yeah.
They just bat him up and get intercepted. And I'm just telling you, man, one of those plays goes differently and the Browns win the game.
Right.
And it's a tough loss. And it's a loss that they're going to have to make up. Like, that's the hard thing. Every game you lose in the NFL, now you're going to have to make it up. Like all of us, we did the schedule game with Cameron last week. We all picked them to beat the Bengals.
Yeah.
Well, now the Browns are going to have to make it up against the team that we all thought they were going to lose to. And it kind of starts now. I know you guys all picked the Browns this week. I definitely picked the Ravens, but it starts this week. So, Chad, let's talk about this game just for just a quick hot take and a prediction. The Ravens coming off a brutal loss to the Buffalo Bills, who looked amazing as that game went on.
Yeah.
I was almost a little pissed when Buffalo won the game.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, cool. Now the Ravens are pissed. But it's still a slugfest against probably one of the top 2 favorites in the AFC. And now the Ravens go home. They're doing this suck fest that they're doing about when they stole our team. And I don't know. Talk about this game and how you feel how you're feeling going into this.
Listen, simply put, the Ravens don't have a very good edge rusher. I mean, they don't have a very good pass rush. That's the one thing. They got a good defense in general, right? They stopped the run really well, and they got pretty good cover corners, but they do not rush the passer well. So the Browns need to get this running game going. Like that is, I said it during Jason Trusnik's interview. I said it, and I mean it. They need to get this running game going. Everybody was all excited about this Stefanski scheme coming back, and so was I because it was very successful. But it's predicated on a good running game because that's when the play action pass takes effect, right? That's why Joe Flacco was able to take all those shots downfield to Amari back in 2023. That's why he was so successful, because it was a good running game, and it opened things up downfield. That's not gonna happen unless you get this running game going. So it has to be better if the Browns have a chance in this game. I think the defense is going to be just fine. I think you're going to have to spy Lamar as usual. You're going to have to try to contain Lamar because I think all of these receivers are going to be covered. All of these schemes are going to be the defensive scheme is going to be a good one because it's still not the best Ravens passing offense. And historically, Derrick Henry has not played well against the Browns. So Lamar is just the X factor in this game. If you're able to contain him much, you give yourself a chance to win. But offensively, to put points on the board, you have to get this run game going. Otherwise, I think the Ravens take this one. And if you ask me right now, I think the Ravens are going to win in a close one. And even though I want the Browns to win, like I said, 7,500-2. I think the Ravens are going to take this one because at this moment, I have no faith that the Browns are going to get this running game going.
Man, the Ravens they just have three insanely good playmakers on that offense when it comes to the skill positions. Obviously, Lamar, total playmaker. Derrick Henry is the LeBron James of running backs at this point, right? Like his age is not slowing him at all. Mm-hmm. And then Zay Flowers is spectacular as a wide receiver on the outside. Zay has done damage against the Browns. Zay has also, I think it was last year when he dropped that big pass deep down the middle of the field that wound up losing the game for the Ravens. So that was great too. But it's not so much the receivers that I'm concerned about. It's really Derrick Henry, man. I think the Browns tightened up that run defense as the game went on against Chase Brown, but Derrick Henry's just a different beast. The Ravens' offensive line is a much different beast than the Bengals' offensive line. The Browns do always seem to make Lamar a bit uncomfortable defensively, and I think they'll do that again. But it's not going to just have to be Carson Schlesinger, although this can be a game that kid really makes a name for himself because he's going to need to have a big game, especially in the run-stopping area against Derrick Henry. But, you're also going to need, Jerome Baker and Devin Bush to play above their heads again in trying to stop Derrick Henry. They need the linebackers to step up big time in this game and make some big plays. So I also think it's going to be close. I wonder if we're not going to see Mike Hall back. Hopefully we will. I think the defensive line is going to be great. Again, I think the defensive backs are going to be really good as they were in the first game. And like you said, Chad, you give Joe Flacco time, he's going to make good decisions and pick you apart. But the Browns offensively are going to have to hit on a couple big plays. You're not going to dink and dunk your way to a win over the Baltimore Ravens. You're going to have to hit on a couple big plays, and they're going to have to do that. I think this is going to be a really close game. I hope they come out with that intensity, but I'm going to stick with the same result that I gave in the scheduled game. It's a lot. It's a lot to ask off of a loss going into Baltimore, beating Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. It's a lot to ask, and I'm not going to give it to the Browns, but if they do win it, I will celebrate profusely.
Yes, absolutely. And it just a little food for thought here. In 7 career games against the Browns, Derrick Henry's only rushed for 395 yards. So that's way, way less than 100 yards a game. So they have been able to control Derrick Henry. So the Ravens are going to have to make some plays against this really good Browns defense. But like I said, if the Browns can't put some points on the board, hit on some big plays, like you said, Mike, I just eventually Lamar is going to break through. Eventually, if you don't score points, so it's that's going to be the biggest factor. I think the Ravens win it in a close one, even though it's I'm going to be pissed off that entire game.
Yeah. All right. We have just gone straight football for a while. I do want to get some quick hitters in here, but let's do our asshole of the week, where we call somebody out this week for just being a total asshole. So Chad, who'd you come in with your asshole of the week with?
Oh, dude, I've got 3 of them. I've got
Jesus
3
Christ,
of
can
them.
you just pick one? Can you pick one?
I'll go quick.
Well, yeah, but what if you take one of mine? You got 3. Just pick
okay. Go ahead. Then you go ahead. You go ahead. If you go ahead, because if one of yours is mine, I'll just do the other 2.
Yeah, mine's just going to be timely. Just fucking stop shooting people.
Yeah. Yep.
And there were a bunch of them today. Obviously, it was the big news was Charlie Kirk, and he got shot and passed away, and that's fucking wild because I've never agreed with one thing that dude says, but who shoots somebody because you disagree with them?
Right.
That's soft. It's soft bullshit. Stop shooting people. Anybody that shoots people.
Yeah.
That are not an impending threat to them. Knock it the fuck off. This shit, it's out of hand. It's out of hand. I don't want to get into any arguments with, but this or that. Shut up. I'm not trying to get into an argument with anybody. Just stop shooting people. Knock it off. Pointing a gun at somebody and firing at them is a bullshit coward move. We're just a whole bunch of cowards just shooting everybody else. It's garbage. It's nonsense. And I'm just tired. I'm tired of, I don't care whether the problem is you only talk about it when it's political. And that's not what this is meant to be. I don't care what side you're on of anything. Just stop fucking shooting people. Just knock it the fuck off. And let's not do that anymore. So I guess my asshole of the week is just all these people who just think, I'm going to grab a gun and shoot up a bunch of people. Just fucking stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Weird where it's not weird. Assholes. It's terrible where we're at.
Yeah, assholes.
My 3 assholes.
All right, good.
My 3 assholes. It's a little lighter than that. That Phillies fan who ripped the ball, who argued the ball away from the dad.
Yes.
What a bitch move. What an asshole for that. Going and just complaining. Listen, bottom line, a home run goes into the stands. It is fair game until somebody comes away with that ball. Okay? It is fair game. Second asshole is the people who are online trying to identify this woman and they're
getting the wrong women.
Yeah, and like getting the wrong woman, but yes, it was a bitch move for her to go over to that guy and take the ball away from the kid, right? Because that kid had a core memory taken away from him. But we don't really need to find out where this woman lives and because people on Twitter want to identify this woman and basically ruin her life. Okay, we don't need to find out where this woman lives and try to get her fired because she went and argued with a dad to get the ball taken away from her. So no, so the people who are trying to ruin her life because of this, you're kind of an asshole for doing that too, even though she was the bigger asshole in going and arguing that ball away from the dad. Third asshole is that Polish CEO that took the hat away from the kid in the U.S. Open in the tennis game. That was way different because that tennis player was literally handing the hat to the kid, and that Polish dude just stole it away from him. That's bullshit, dude. That is bullshit. Another core memory taken away from a kid. Stop that. You guys are assholes. Stop it.
I'll just go back to the lady in Philly. That just was the wildest thing. But we'll do a preliminary cheers. Cheers to the Marlins and the Phillies.
That's what I was going to say.
The Marlins brought that kid like a care package.
Yeah.
And then the Phillies brought the kid and his dad and all that down underneath to meet the players and get signed autographs and stuff. They made it cool.
Yeah,
and
they made it right.
Also preliminary cheers to that Karen in Miami, the Phillies fan Karen in Miami. Did you see the video of her? She went out to a bar after the game and got food relentlessly out of the bar. It was awesome.
That was
awesome.
That's
what
sick.
an idiot. What an
That's
idiot.
Awesome.
Idiot.
What an asshole.
What an asshole. All right, those are our assholes of the week. Okay. So Chad, really quickly, let's do a couple quick hitters.
Yeah.
One, man, the Guardian. We got to talk about the Guardians again.
Let's go, man. Let's go.
All of a
Let's
sudden,
go.
I mean, dead in the water, and now they're back.
Yeah.
They're scoring. They lost tonight to the Royals, which that's a tough. It's not like a bad loss. You won the series against the Royals, which you went into the series trailing them in the standings. So to win the series was important.
Well, you got one more game tomorrow. That you could win
sorry.
the series. It's four game series.
I forgot it was a 4-game series. You're right.
Yeah.
But like all of a sudden you look up the wild card and the Guardians are 3 games behind the Mariners.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to catch the Mariners because they're playing okay right now. Boston, New York's been playing great. Boston's been playing really well. I mean, it's just some of those series, like when they went to Boston and lost that series, it's like, that's a killer. You lost that series to Texas. That's a killer. That's you're 2 games behind Texas.
Yeah.
That stretch that they went on where they were just terrible was bad, but like they're
hanging around.
They're hanging around. God just felt dead, didn't it?
It felt so dead. And like, I thought it was dead until I came across a tweet that said they were only 2.5 games out of the wild card. I was like, really? Because that's how dead I thought they were. I was like, okay, here comes September call-ups. But no, 2 games out. 2 games out of a wild card spot. And 3 games out from Seattle. So, they're doing what they do. And it's just, they're in the hunt. I don't think they're going to make it, but because they're in the hunt, it's causing me to watch every game from here on out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's you can't not. At least if they were to just start tanking games, then it'd be like, all right, well, then it's over. But like,
there's a glimmer of hope. I don't think it's going to happen, but there's a glimmer of hope here.
I'm still just mad.
At that long stretch that they had in the season?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm mad that this is what we just have to resort to as Cleveland Guardians fans.
Yeah.
You were in the ALCS last year.
Mm-hmm.
And you have this foundation of a roster built that can at least be competitive.
Yeah.
And there's just no help.
Yeah.
This team actively tries to hurt itself from the top.
Right.
They actively hurt themselves from the top.
Yeah.
And this team is trying to compete even though they don't have nearly the talent to do it.
Yeah.
And they're trying and you're bringing up the CJ Kafis has been a great call up. And, you got some guys down in the Travis Bazana's lighting it up. You got to love seeing that.
Oh yeah.
But like these young guys are like putting up a fight and led by Jose Ramirez. And now the pitching staff's coming around again. And, there's just so much that if there was any support for this team coming off of an ALCS, this team should be a division winner again. Mm-hmm. And instead it's just nope. Yeah. Just no support. Kick you while you're up. That's the problem. It's one thing to get kicked while you're down because you're already down, but it feels like they're just kicked while they're up.
Yep.
This is, I wish the hardcore Guardians supporter people who, again, I'm a hardcore Guardians fan, but I just wish the hardcore Guardians, like the people that defend the Guardians at every turn and the Dolans and all that at every turn. I think this is the kind of year that should turn them and be like, you were in the ALCS last year. Like, you didn't think that was the appropriate time to like loosen up the purse a little bit and like become like a top 20 spending team. Because again, that's all we're ever asking. That's all I'm ever questioning. I'm never questioning why the Cleveland Guardians aren't a top 5 spending team, but like a year off the ALCS and you can't crack the top 20.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. And we have to listen to the bullshit excuses. Like, it just keeps, I respect the players so much. And I respect Stephen Vogt. And like, damn it, this team has no business being competitive. And yet they are. And if they just got a little help, Just a little bit of help.
Yeah.
Just maybe like add a bat,
Yeah.
add an arm,
Yeah.
and roll into the season.
Yeah.
Maybe you could have between the sabotage that this team does to itself and then getting sabotaged by two of your guys that were supposed to be your top level pitchers. This team should have been dead and buried. And yet here we are. Here we are getting ready to talk about potentially making a playoff push. It's just it's wild. This is a wild season.
It's a very wild season, and it's the things we got to go through on a year in and year out basis, right? It's kind of like the Browns in a way, except for the Guardians win more, right? Because you have no idea what you're getting year to year with the Guardians.
Yeah.
You know who's coming back. You know who the roster is going to be on. Well, who's going to be on the roster. You kind of get a sense of how the makeup of this team is going to be. You just never have any idea what you're going to get, because this team is always going to work with one foot in the future, and it's always going to rely on its young guys. It's always going to rely on its developmental guys. It's always going to rely on guys they draft within their system, and it just, one year it works. One year they catch lightning in a bottle. This year, they didn't really. They caught fireflies in a bottle, right? Like,
right.
It's not. You have to hope that the revolving door of uncertainty hits that certain part every year, and it's just there's nothing to there's every year that the Guardians do well. And you go into that off season, it's not exciting, right? There's nothing, because you know exactly what you know exactly how this team operates. You know exactly what this team's going to do. And you just, I don't know. You have no idea, because then you get a season like this, right? Then you get a season like this where they're good, but not as good as last year, but they're still in the hunt, which gives fans hope. And then it gives like the hardcore Guardians fans like, oh, if this prospect can just come around, if this AAA guy can just come around and do well for us, this is our pitching roster next year. This is some obscure free agent bullpen pitcher that I hope we sign in the offseason. Like, it's like to your point, Mike, about like, you wish these hardcore Guardians people would it would kind of turn them. I think it's just, I think it's more of like they're in the acceptance stage of grief, right? Like this is what it's going to be. And this is,
I think that's a fair point.
Yeah. This is what I hope this team looks like next year, but it's not going to be. So here's what our roster is going to look like. I think that's what it is. It's just acceptance, like that. We're going to compete every few years for a championship. And until then, we're going to just sit right on that line of mediocrity to a wild card spot. Here we are, and here we are back here with 2 games out and a glimmer of hope, hoping that they can go on a run and the Mariners start losing. Here we are.
Yeah, well, listen, it is good to be here. And they have created must-watch TV at the end of the season. I will say the last month, this has not been must-watch TV. I don't know that I've watched more than 2 games, but yeah, we're here, and hopefully, again, as this season winds down, they got the game against the Royals tomorrow, which they really need to get. They can't split this series against the Royals. You got to win this series against the Royals. Then they got the White Sox, and then you go into the stretch to end the season where you've got, talk about big series, right?
Yeah.
We thought these Tiger series were going to be big. They're not really all that big. The Tigers are winning the division, but you still got to get wins. And then you got games you can win against the Twins. You got, if you can stay in this striking distance, then how about ending the season against the Rangers?
That could be
at
just
home.
Gigantic.
If for some reason Seattle does falter, that series against the Rangers could just be unbelievably big.
Right.
We'll see what happens. Again, they lose tonight, but they took the first 2 of the series against the Royals. So hopefully tomorrow they can come out and take the series. And that would be a huge push forward for the Cleveland Guardians. Chad, real quick, a little college football.
Yeah.
As far as week 2 is concerned, really 2 big storylines, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's nothing. I garnered nothing from the Ohio State win over Grambling.
No, absolutely not.
So
Except for that was awesome seeing the band in Ohio Stadium, seeing the Grambling band in Ohio
it was
Stadium.
awesome.
Yeah.
But the two big storylines, one, USF is apparently a load.
Apparently they're real. Apparently they're for real.
They go into the swamp and beat Florida.
It's more like the pond.
Well, now it is.
Yeah.
And then Michigan takes the loss.
Yeah.
Oklahoma takes down Michigan. And I guess that's the game to talk about, right? I feel like Michigan's going to have the exact same kind of year this year as they had last year. But I'm going to say this. I think that kid's pretty good. I think that quarterback's pretty good.
I think he is.
I don't think it's going to be this year, but I think next year and the year after, Michigan's pretty well set at quarterback. I love the way that ball comes off his hands.
Yeah, we're probably talking about him being in the Heisman hunt.
I think so.
I want to start off with that game by saying it's really weird watching Oklahoma play defense. It is very, very weird watching Oklahoma play defense. That defense was fast. They were physical. They were dogs that game, man. They dominated Michigan at the line of scrimmage, especially in the run game. Outside of that one big run that Justice Haynes busted. And by the way, if he gets into the open field, goodbye. Did you see how he just, on that long touchdown run, how he just ate up angles and just raced to the end zone?
Yes.
He is fast if he gets out in the open field. But outside of that, Oklahoma just dominated them. Right? Michigan had their chances. They had, a few overthrows from Underwood, right? He didn't read the defense very well, and they pressured him all game. He's a kid that doesn't. He's kind of like Lamar in a sense that he doesn't want. Well, actually, not. I wouldn't say it's Lamar, but he doesn't want to quite get out of the pocket just yet to use his legs. He would rather stay in the pocket. He'd rather keep his eyes downfield and try to throw. But man, I feel like that kid, if he figures out when to run, when to tuck the football and run, he's very dangerous with his size and his speed.
Yeah.
Luckily he was for Oklahoma's sake, he was very indecisive that game. And Oklahoma just put forth a hell of a defensive effort and a good enough offensive effort. I'm not super impressed with John Mateer, but John Mateer played good enough to get that win.
Oh my God. John Mateer is a guy that's going to be like a frustrating college quarterback.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it for that dude. I was watching him going like, my man, your intended receiver is 4 yards in front of you. You don't need to throw it 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Like everything that guy throws is just as hard as he can fucking throw it.
Zero touch whatsoever. He's like, here's a swing pass. Zoom!
There's zero touch to his game, period. It is just like, I know people used all gas, no brakes as like a good thing. It's not always good. Like, John, dude, pump the brakes just a hot second.
Yeah.
He is just, it's madness watching that guy play. And he makes big plays, but he also, I was like, there were some plays that he should have made to make that game even further apart than it was, where I was like, why did you throw that like Randy Johnson? Don't do that.
Yeah.
Just knock that off.
Yeah.
So that brings us into week 3. If you come back to Ohio State's, listen, big win for the Ohio Bobcats this last week.
Absolutely.
West Virginia comes into town. It's not a good West Virginia team by any stretch, but the Bobcats get them in Athens. Ohio playing Ohio State should be maybe a little closer than Grambling Ohio State, but probably not much. So Ohio State should get another big win, and then I think after this game they get a bye, right? I think they get the week 4 bye. Ohio State does.
Yep. Yes,
so again, not a ton to talk about with Ohio State at this point. Let's talk about the game. Apparently you and I are going to be there. You working it, Chad?
Yeah, sure am. Just found out this afternoon.
So Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. There's a couple big games. LSU, Florida, which looked like a bigger game until this week.
Right.
Miami against South Florida. Apparently that's a big game now. But the game you and I are going to be at, my Fighting Texas Aggies against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in South Bend. This was a really good game last year. A game that Notre Dame had to kind of come back and win, but they did in Kyle Field. And now it's Texas A&M 2-0. Notre Dame 0-1 after they lost to Miami in South Bend, man. This set up to be a pretty good game. I have no faith in Texas A&M because they just seem to come up short all the time in these big games. But they've gotten off to a pretty good start on their year.
Yeah. I mean, they've gotten off to a pretty good start.
They haven't played anybody, but
sure, yeah, they've gotten off to a pretty good start, and CJ Carr definitely wants to play better than he did against Miami. But yeah, it should be an interesting game. This feels like two very evenly matched teams, like two pretty good defenses, two pretty good run games. Questionable quarterback play. But I think Jeremiah loves the X factor in this game, and I think he's going to they have to get him the ball more. They did not get. He had like 6 carries at one point against Miami, and I was like, what is he? Is he hurt? Like I got concerned that he was hurt. But yeah, he is. They got to get him the football more. I think if they're able to do that, I think they got a great shot at winning this game because that Texas A&M offense it's a roller coaster, right? It's a roller coaster, especially in big games, right? Yes. Especially in big games. They'll struggle for so long, but their defense will be just good enough to hang around to keep them in it until the end. But then all of a sudden, they make a big play either to win the game or lose the game. It's a weird Texas A&M, typical Texas A&M offense.
That's such a good way to describe how the Aggies operate. They're going to make the game's going to be close. And they're going to make one consequential play. And it's either going to be to win or to lose. But that one play is going to be the play. That is the Aggies over the last couple of years. And listen, I like Mike Elko. I don't know. I don't know if they've got the firepower to come in on the road and win in Notre Dame. But I've never been to a game in Notre Dame. Have you been to games in Notre Dame?
I have. I worked the Ohio State Notre Dame game 2 years ago with Kyle McCord.
Yes. Where Ryan Day did the corniest. Oh yeah, Lou Holtz is a bitch.
Where is he? Where is he?
Looks like Coach Day.
Yeah, Coach Day. Yeah, I don't think Ohio State's a real good physical football team. Yeah.
No, but I'm pumped. All I can think of is the scene from Rudy where his dad walks into the stadium and he's like, "This is the most beautiful sight these eyes have ever seen."
I'm not a big Notre Dame. Yeah, I'm not a big Notre Dame fan by any means, but man, like you walk into that stadium and you just kind of appreciate it, right? Just from all the history and everything.
Yeah. So just real quick, again, because there are other big, Georgia, Tennessee is this week. That's a big game.
Yeah. That'll be way better than LSU in Florida.
That's a really big game.
Yeah.
Luke Fickell in Wisconsin playing Alabama. I don't really think that's going to be much of a game, but Chad, through 2 weeks of the season, what are your big storylines in college football?
Big storylines in college football. I think Oklahoma is going to be some force to be reckoned with. Like after watching that defense, I know it was against Michigan and a freshman quarterback, but the fact that they're able to play defense and have capable to like good enough offense, I know it's high school reference, but they kind of remind me of like how Highland plays, just very like suffocating, stout defense. And good enough offense. So I think they could be a force to be reckoned with in the SEC because there really isn't a team that stands out to me, a dominant team that stands out to me. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Oklahoma sitting there at the top. I think Penn State is very hard to get a read on, right? I think they're just very, very hard to get a read on so far until they play. I think it's like Illinois, like week 5, right? Because like they play Villanova this week. Like they're going to win that game, but they don't kill teams, right? Right. They won last week against whatever their FCS opponent was, like 41-0, right? And they'll probably beat Villanova, same thing, like 34-0 or 42-0. So it's very hard for me to get a read on Penn State now. Let's see. Where else am I looking at? Clemson. Clemson is very surprising to me. I know they still pulled out the win against Louisiana Tech last week, but they didn't look good between that game and the LSU game. Something's wrong with that offense. Like it feels very like disjointed, even with Cade Klubnik at quarterback. They got a veteran quarterback there. They're very clunky to me right now. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them with a couple of losses, especially when they get to that Florida State game. And I guess there we go. Florida State too. Like, can they continue with that swagger? Like, they got that big win against Alabama, but Did that say a lot about Florida State, or did that say a lot about Alabama, or maybe
Right.
both? We'll find out. So yeah, there's a lot of storylines going on in college football. UCLA, Nico Alamayava, good call by Tennessee to just let him go for that NIL deal. He appears to not be a very good quarterback. Yeah, I think that's all I can think of off the top of my head here.
Well, I'm pumped. I'm pumped to get out to South Bend this week. You'll
Yeah.
be working it. I'll be in the stands, just trying. This is the first time. You know, the last time I saw Texas A&M in person, Johnny Manziel was the quarterback, and they were in the Cotton Bowl against Oklahoma, and they freaking crushed Oklahoma in that game. In the year that if they wouldn't have scheduled 2 really difficult games early,
Yeah.
Texas A&M would have won the national championship that year, and they did not.
Ugh.
But that's the last time I saw my Aggies in person.
There we go.
I'm really excited to go see them on Saturday for a little college football. All right, Chad.
Oh, how about Big 12 favorite Kansas State? 1-2. Big 12 favorite Kansas State when losing to Army.
They're not. I don't.
The Big 12 is wide open.
Yeah, it's not
wide open.
It's not good. It's not great. All right, Chad. Listen, let's do our cheers of the week and get out of here for episode 280. And mine's an easy cheer, so I'll just roll with it because we just talked about the fact that I'm going to watch my Aggies play against Notre Dame. And I've given this guy a cheer here on the show before, but it's one of my buddies, Derek DeWolf, who I think the last time I gave him a cheer, I was in a hotel. I work with him, and I was in a hotel room, and I'd like forgotten to go get beers before the show, and he just like showed up with beers, and I was like, "Shout out to you, Derek."
Nice.
Well, Derek got me the ticket to this game for Texas A&M and Notre Dame, and how do you not cheers it? How do you not cheers your buddy coming through with a ticket to see Texas A&M and Notre Dame play in South Bend? So I'm just giving my cheers to my buddy Derek for pulling through with the ticket. Good dude, deserves the cheer, so it goes to him. Chad.
Man, I don't know. Like you took my cheers because I was going to cheers the Phillies and Marlins for the whole grab bag thing.
Yeah.
So I think we're just going to stick with that.
All right, just stick with it.
It's my cheers.
Because that lady was the worst.
Bitch.
She had. I love when you can tell by somebody's haircut that they're the worst.
Yeah.
The minute I saw that lady's hair, I was like, well, uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, I know I'm here for my haircut. Could you just give me the asshole of the week cut? Bam. Got it.
Cheers to that dad. Cheers to that dad for his panic, scared reaction. He just goes, ooh.
That was very strange.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for us for episode 280. Big time shout out to all of you. We were up over 1,000 people in here during the live stream. That is awesome. Big time shout out to everybody that joined us. We got to do our last thing, which is our cheers or our thank yous this week. First thank you goes out to the OBR for hosting us. The OBR is the oldest and largest Browns coverage site in all of Cleveland. So make sure you get over to the OBR.com and subscribe over there for all the best Browns coverage. And whether you're watching us on the OBR's Twitch, YouTube, whatever, hit subscribe, hit like, and make sure you are tuned into the OBR streaming network all throughout the Browns season. It's the best coverage you are going to get. So shout out to the OBR. Big time shout out to our guest, Jason Trusnik, joining us, former Cleveland Browns player, former college and high school football legend in Northern Ohio, and current head coach of the Strongsville Mustangs. It was awesome talking with Jason Trusnik. What a blast. What a good dude. And we wish him nothing but success as the head coach of the Mustangs. Big shout out to Jason for joining us. And our last and our biggest thank you goes out to all of you, whether you joined us in the comments, and it was lively again tonight in the comments, or whether you're joining us later on Apple or Spotify or iHeart or YouTube or Twitch or wherever you're going to catch us later. We love you. We thank you for your support. Really appreciate you. And we hope you'll just tune in and week out with us here on Garage Beers. That's going to do it for us. For Joey, who wasn't here because he's on vacation, but Garage Beers Joe, for Chad at Garage Beers Chad and his macrocephaly. I am Michael Keefe at Garage Beers. Mike, go follow the show at The Garage Beers on all the socials. And we will see you next week for episode 281. Until then, cheers, everybody.
Cheers, everybody.